Okay, so today is the second day of 7-1. I just did these problems and I forgot to record. So thank you for everyone in person and online listening to this again. But for those of you on YouTube, these are proportions. So we're just cross multiplying like we learned yesterday. 3 times x is 3x. And then 6 times 2 is 12. Solve and get 4. Easy. The next one, similar idea, but I do want you to be careful with your distribution. So I'm doing 3 times r minus 3. And then 5 times 10. When you distribute your 3 in, you get 3r minus 9, add 9 to both sides, and then divide by 3. You can leave it as an improper fraction, or you can make it a decimal, just round one place after the decimal, and 19.66666 rounds to 19.7. So it's okay to get a decimal. I just took a break so that everybody could try the next 3 problems on their own, but we are all ready to go back together. So anybody have any questions so far? All right, we're gonna roll through the next 3. If you guys want me to slow down, I'd be happy to. Now we're live in class, so I'm all caught up now. So cross multiply, I get 9 times v plus 10 equals 16. Don't forget to distribute, 9v plus 90 equals 16. Minus 9, 9v equals negative 74. And so we're about to get a decimal again and a negative number. So negative is okay and decimals are okay. Divide by 9, and I think we get negative 8.2 repeating. Good, so we'll just leave it as negative 8.2. So again, another example where we can get a decimal and it's gonna be okay. All right, the next one I do think works out evenly. So we might be like, ooh, why are there n's on both sides? Don't stress about it, it'll be okay. 9 times n is 9n, and then 6 times n plus 7. Again, I'm very careful, so I'm going to wait a step before I distribute. 9n equals 6n plus 42, minus 6n on both sides. So I get 3n equals 42, and then divide by 3. Ooh, I got jumped ahead. The answer is going to be 14, but let me do my actual division. N equals 14. Good, so we've had nice pretty answers, we've had ugly decimal answers. Now the last one, I'm not really even sure where to start. Negative 3/4 equals n plus 3 over n plus 6. How do I deal with that negative? We're gonna multiply in a second. Megan, what are you thinking? You only put it with one or the other. Does it matter which one you put it with? Nope. I usually like to put it on top just because that's what I'm used to where it being negative, but you can put it on the bottom. The one thing you cannot do is give them both negative, because if you make them both negative, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so you'll get the wrong answer. So just give your negative to one or the other and then cross multiply. Even if you gave your negative to the 4 and I gave mine to the 3, we should still get the same answer in the end. Again, be careful with your distribution, especially now that we've got a negative in front. Make sure that I've got negative 3 minus 18 equals 4n plus 12. I'm going to add 3n to both sides. And in the same step, I'm going to minus my 12 to get negative 30 equals 7n. And then we're going to divide by 7. So n equals negative 30 over 7. Or approximately negative 4.3, maybe? Anyone divided, is that about right? Okay, perfect. All right, pretty easy stuff for those first 5, right? Everyone doing okay? Okay, second step is we're gonna do some factoring. Now we just spent weeks doing factoring on the board every day, right? I really wanted us to know factoring, so I really hammered it home, and I was actually really impressed when we did the quizzes and the tests, that our factoring has gotten better and better, and most of us didn't miss any or very many points at all on the factoring. So I'm very pleased with that. So this should be easy. The only thing is I have to go one more step after I factor. So we're gonna do number 6, and then I'll ask you to try 7, 8, and 9 on your own. Number 6, 3n squared plus 6n equals 24. I have to do something before I factor though. Does anyone know what I need to do first? Colin? Good, I have to get everything on one side. So one side has to go to 0, everything else is on the other side. So I'm gonna minus 24 from both sides. 3n squared plus 6n minus 24 equals 0. All right, now we're going to factor. What do we want to do first? We can pull out a 3. So take a 3 out of everything. So 3n squared divided by 3 is going to be n squared. 6n divided by 3 is going to be plus 2n. And then negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. Cool, now we just have one of those even super easy factoring problems that we have. N squared plus 2n minus 8. So we ask ourselves, what are some things that multiply to be negative 8 and then add to be 2? Anyone know? Minus 4 plus 2. I think we got to do something a little bit different. Something's got to change. Flip it. Flip my signs or flip the numbers. It doesn't matter what you're talking about flipping. In order to be positive 2, it needs to be a positive 4. Okay. We've done all of this, right? We're doing okay with this part. The last thing you have to do in order to solve is I want x equals or I want n equals. So we need to set each of these factors equal to 0. That's a factor, that's a factor, that's a factor. So I technically have to do 3 equals 0, n plus 4 equals 0, and n minus 2 equals 0. Okay. If we look at that, I'm going to look at the first one. 3 equals 0. Is that true? Is that a real statement? No, and there's nothing I can do to solve that. So that one I'm just going to cross out. Does not work. If there was an x there, I could do something, but I can't right now. The other ones, let's do inverse operations to get the variable by itself. Minus 4, n equals negative 4 plus 2 plus 2, n equals positive 2. So my answers here are plus 2 and minus 4. N equals positive 2, n equals negative 4. Now, I do want to see all of these steps. I want to see you move everything to one side. I want to see you take a GCF out if that's something you can do. And then I want to see the final factored form. If you, as you get better at this, don't want to do this stuff over here, I'm okay with you saying, okay, I know enough. I don't need to physically show that. That's fine. But everything on this side, I need shown. If you just have the problem and then you say x equals negative 4 and x equals 2, I'm just going to think that you cheated that off of somebody else. I don't know where it came from. You got to show me you know where it comes from. Okay, go ahead, try 7, 8, and 9 on your own. Stop at 10, unless you're feeling real crazy, and then you can try that. But try those 3, and then we'll come back together.